Speaker.
I thank the member for Dunkley and give the call to the honourable member for Holt.
Thanks, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, I wanted to talk about two headspaces, one in Narre Warren and one in Dandenong, and to pay tribute to the young people of Casey, without whose efforts we wouldn't have had those headspaces. Deputy Speaker, in 2012, 2011, in my constituency and around my constituency, we had what we call a suicide cluster, for want of a better term. Young people that were taking their own lives, and it was of sufficient magnitude to young people hurting themselves, young people taking their own lives, that we in 2012 commissioned a summit on youth suicide that was led by Professor Pat McGorry, and Four Corners filmed that, and it was an incredible program called There's No 3G in Heaven, and it talked about individual stories of parents that had lost their children and the impact on youth suicide on parents and families. And it was traumatic for everyone, Deputy Speaker, that was involved. The key driver of this, though, and the young people that I wanted to pay tribute to, were the young people from the Casey study tour, youth study tour, who drew this to my attention in early 2012. Some of those young people had been friends of those that had taken their own lives. And for those young people, through the auspices of the City of Casey study tour, to come into my office and to talk about their individualised experiences and to talk about the loss of their peers and how it impacted on their lives was an incredible act of bravery on my part, from what I could see. And the fact that they wanted something done, and that their impetus and their drive and their enthusiasm were the main reasons why we had this youth summit in 2012, in August 2012, and what it led to. Because up until that period of time, Deputy Speaker, there were no youth, there were no headspaces. There were no headspaces there in the midst of this rather awful set of circumstances. And as a consequence of their lobbying, there are now two headspaces. And that's overlaid with a youth early psychosis service that's run by Associate Professor Simon Stafraci as well, from the Alfred Hospital. So when we talk about young people not having a say in politics anymore, not having any influence, it's not true, because those headspaces are testament to the young people that worked hard together, lobbied me respectfully and lobbied others in the City of Casey, and auspiced this Youth Suicide Summit in 2012. So to those young people that may or may not be watching, that think that they are powerless and don't have a voice, it's not true. You had a voice, and your voice, particularly in the City of Casey, led to the creation of two headspaces, and those two headspaces and the Early Psychosis Centre are saving lives, and that's because of you young people and the work that you did to lobby for those services.
I thank the honourable member for